Imagine a city built for 1 million people. Gleaming skyscrapers pierce the sky. Wide boulevards stretch into the distance. Shopping malls, schools, hospitals, everything a thriving metropolis needs. But there's one problem. No one lives there. Welcome to China's ghost cities, monuments to the world's most spectacular real estate gamble. A gamble that's now turning into the largest debt crisis in human history. This is the story of how China built its way into a corner, and why the world should be paying attention. China's ghost cities. The real estate debt disaster. To understand China's ghost cities, we need to go back to 1978. Deng Xiaoping opens China to the world. The economy explodes. Hundreds of millions escape poverty. It's the fastest economic transformation in human history. But there's a catch. China's growth model is different. While Western economies are driven by consumption, people buying things, China's economy runs on investment, specifically infrastructure and real estate. Here's the number that matters. By 2020, real estate represents almost 30% of China's entire economy. In America, it's about 6%. Think of it this way. If the U.S. economy is a balanced meal, China's economy is eating nothing but bread. Lots and lots of bread. And for decades, it worked. So how did China end up building entire cities that nobody needs? It starts with local government. In China, local officials are judged on one thing: GDP growth. Build a bridge? GDP goes up. Build an apartment complex? GDP goes up. Build an entire city? You get promoted. But there's a problem. Local governments have no money. Enter the loophole. Chinese law says governments can't borrow money directly. So they create shell companies, local government financing vehicles. These companies borrow billions, then hand it to the government to build. Now add the second ingredient: developers. Companies like Evergrande, Country Garden, and dozens of others see opportunity. They buy land from the government, which is often the biggest revenue source for local officials. Then they build, and build, and build. But here's where it gets insane. Chinese buyers don't purchase finished apartments. They buy them years before construction even finishes. They're paying for holes in the ground. Developers take that cash and use it to buy more land, build more projects. The cycle spins faster. Banks love it. They lend freely because real estate always goes up, right? Local governments love it. They sell land and juice their GDP numbers. Developers love it. They become billionaires overnight. And regular Chinese citizens? They pour their life savings into real estate because there's nowhere else to put it. Stock market is unreliable. Savings accounts pay nothing. Real estate is the only game in town. It's a machine. And for 20 years, it prints money. Then the cracks appear. By 2018, China has built enough empty apartments to house 90 million people. Entire cities stand frozen in time. Ordos, in Inner Mongolia, was designed for 1 million residents. Population? 100,000. Zhengzhou has a district with replicas of the Capitol building and the Champs-Élysées. Empty. Shandong, near Kunming, has universities, government buildings, massive residential towers. Ghost town. But the building doesn't stop. It can't stop. Because here's the trap. China's economy needs construction. If building stops, GDP collapses. Millions lose jobs. The Communist Party faces legitimacy crisis. So they keep building, even when nobody needs it. Then comes 2020. The Chinese government finally realizes the real estate sector is a ticking bomb. They introduce the 3 red lines, rules to limit how much developers can borrow. It's a rational policy, but it comes too late. Evergrande is the first domino. The company owes over $300 billion. That's more than the GDP of Pakistan. They've promised to deliver 1.6 million apartments. Apartments that people have already paid for. In 2021, Evergrande defaults. Then Country Garden. Then Sunac. Then Shermao. One by one, the giants fall. Tens of millions of Chinese families realize the apartment they've been paying for might never be built. Their life savings vanished into unfinished concrete skeletons. Protests erupt. Homebuyers refuse to pay mortgages on apartments that don't exist. It's called the mortgage rebellion. The problem spreads. Local governments can't sell land anymore. Developers have no money. Without land sales, local governments can't pay their debts. Without payment, the local government financing vehicles start defaulting. The entire system is collapsing. So what happens when the world's second largest economy has a real estate crisis? First, The human cost. China's middle class has 70% of their wealth in real estate. Not stocks, not bonds, apartments. For many families, an unfinished apartment isn't just a financial loss. It's a lost future. No home, no retirement, no security. The psychological impact is devastating. An entire generation believed the promise: work hard, buy property, secure your family's future. That promise is broken. Second, the economic shockwave. Real estate isn't just construction. It's steel, cement, glass, furniture, appliances. It's the jobs of migrant workers who came from rural villages. It's the small businesses that supplied the industry. When real estate crashes, everything connected to it crashes. Unemployment spikes. Consumer spending collapses. Deflation sets in. Prices actually start falling because nobody's buying anything. By 2024, China's economy is growing at the slowest pace in decades. Youth unemployment hits record levels. The property sector, once 30% of GDP, is in freefall. Third, the banking crisis. Chinese banks are sitting on trillions in bad loans. Loans to developers who will never repay. Loans to local governments who can't repay. The official numbers say the problem is manageable. Nobody believes the official numbers. If banks start failing, it's not just China's problem. Chinese banks are intertwined with the global financial system. A collapse in Beijing sends shockwaves to New York, London, Tokyo. Fourth, the political consequences. The Communist Party's legitimacy rests on one thing: delivering prosperity. For 40 years, they delivered. Living standards soared. The deal was simple: you don't get democracy, but you get rich. Now the deal is breaking. The middle class is angry. The government responds with tighter control. Censorship increases. Dissent is crushed. But here's the deeper problem. China's demographic crisis is colliding with its economic crisis. The population is aging rapidly, a result of the one-child policy. Fewer workers, more retirees. And now, a real estate market in collapse means less wealth to support that aging population. It's a doom loop. Fifth, the global implications. China is the world's factory. When Chinese consumers stop spending, global companies feel it. China is also the world's biggest creditor. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, they've loaned hundreds of billions to developing countries. If China's economy stumbles, those loans become problems. Countries can't repay. Debt crises spread. And here's the geopolitical angle. An economically weakened China might become more aggressive, not less. History shows that regimes facing internal problems often create external distractions. Taiwan, the South China Sea. The stakes are terrifyingly high. Finally, the lesson for the rest of us. China's ghost cities are a warning. They show what happens when you prioritize growth over sustainability.